loved by his fans, as well as his daughter. We remember that he was a frequent visitor in the Philippines and was well loved by his fans. All of you have seen him on the hard court, and he was a sight to behold with his mastery of his craft. So we extend our deepest condolences to the family, to his friends, to his colleagues, to his loved ones, as well as the fans around the globe. We pray for the eternal repose of his soul. We're ready for your questions.
Questions, MPC. Yeah, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning po.
Morning.
Sir, may we confirm the statement of DOJ Secretary Minardo Guevara that Malacanang has instructed the DOJ to make a preliminary impact assessment on the possible termination of VFA?
Yes.
Sir, may we ask for details? Bakit po naging ganun yung order from the palace?
What do you mean?
Bakit po kailangan ng preliminary impact assessment, sir?
No, what Secretary Guevara said, he was instructed to study how to go about notifying the United States government relative to determination. There certainly has a protocol in doing that, and it should be found in the visiting force agreement.
So, sir, in place pa rin po yung order na i-terminate po yung VFA?
Yes.
Okay, thank you po.
Follow-up, Joyce.
Sir, nagbigay ng warning sa Senator Coco Pimentel. He said that even if nabanggit naman po natin na hindi naman kasama EDCA and MDT sa mga ipapakancel, the US also or the other party has also the power to abrogate the other treaties.
The other treaties with respect to,
If we push through the termination of the VFA, sir.
that's in the realm of speculation. Number two, I think the treaties benefit more the United States than the Philippines. Strategically, the U.S. need to be in almost any part of the world to secure itself from its perceived enemies.
So we're not concerned that the other party, the US, can also cancel.
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
May follow-up? Joseph.
So yung pong last topic natin before last week, so the President can on his own terminate a treaty.
Since
That's the position of the President.
yes, since it is an executive agreement, and even U.S. considers it one, then there is no need for a concurrence by the Senate. Moreover, the Constitution does not say that it requires concurrence by the Senate with respect to termination of executive agreements, and for that matter, treaties.
Thank you.
Rosalie Cos.
Pero sir, sa statement po ni Foreign Affairs Secretary Locsin, ay nakikipag-ugnayan sila sa Senate because on our side, it is a treaty. Sa US, it is an executive agreement. So,
The Secretary Luxin was giving due courtesy to a co-equal branch on what the executive branch is doing.
so ano lang po yun, i-inform lang sila, pero hindi naman kailangang kunin yung kanilang concurrence.
I
Ganun
think
po
my
ba, sir?
response is clear enough, not to be repeated.
Okay. Questions, MPC? May follow-up? Other issue? Wala na? Joseph? Wala. Wala na? Okay na? Okay na? Wala nang question?
Incidentally, the tete-a-tete will be held tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Heroes Hall at the Palace between the President and this representation.
Ace Romero.
Secretary, what can change the President's mind with regard to the termination of the BFA?
I really do not know. But as I said earlier, the cancellation of the Senator Batos visa was the last straw that broke the camel's back. It was an accumulation, a series of disrespectful acts by some of the U.S. senators. One, first demanding the release of a senator who is lawfully detained. To our mind and to the President's mind, that is an intrusion and an insult to the judiciary system of this country. Number two, a U.S. Senate resolution condemning alleged violations of human rights, which have been a cycle of lies peddled by the critics and detractors of the President, which are baseless and totally exaggerated. Number three, the introduction of an amendment to the U.S. national budget barring entry of certain Philippine government officials who were involved or has anything to do with what they describe as a wrongful detention, which is false, as we have explained elaborately many times over, is a disrespect. Not that we are requiring the U.S. to tell us the reason for the barring, as well as Senator Batos' visa being canceled. But we feel that as a matter of courtesy between countries who are allied, it should have given us the reasons therefore. After all, we stated the reason why we are refusing entry to 3 U.S. senators in this country. And fourth, of course, is that cancellation of Senator Batos' visa. These are the reasons why the President decided to terminate the visiting force agreement. You must remember that this BFA is a special grant of privilege agreement. Among others, under the BFA, the Philippines cannot assume jurisdiction over crimes committed by U.S. military personnel unless a particular crime is of particular importance to the Philippines. And even in those cases where the Philippines can assume jurisdiction, under the BFA, the courts are required to finish it in 1 year with respect to the legal proceedings. So under the BFA, they cannot even be arrested or detained. They cannot even be tried in religious and military courts. They're exempted from the requirements on visa and passport. To top it all, the U.S. aircrafts and vessels can move without restriction in the Philippines, unrestricted movement. This is a very special privilege granted to the U.S. military personnel, ships, and aircrafts which are not given to the counterparts in this country. So those are the reasons.
May I follow
It's
up?
not, as expressed by some, a decision on a whim. It is a studied response to acts that the President deems to be not only an intrusion, but an assault to the sovereignty of this country. And to those who are thinking that this is a rash judgment, let me remind them that this president is a tactical and thinking president who has never lost an election and who has tread a path that ordinary mortals, as well as even those pseudo-intellectuals, have not tread. He has done controversial things, but he remains to be on top of the surveys, whether it's a trust rating, it's a satisfaction rating, or an approval rating. The Filipinos overwhelmingly support this president. Those, of course, who oppose constitute a measly 6%.
Okay, Prince?
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, aside from the VFA termination, tuloy din po ba yung threat ni President Duterte na to ban the other U.S. senators who supported or who voted for the resolution
Yes.
from entering the country?
Yes.
Kahit sir, i-reverse yung visa cancellation.
Hindi ko alam yun, yung partner niya. Basta yung tuloy pa rin.
Chona?
Sir,
We'll ask him during the tete-a-tete.
sir, if ever ma-terminate na yung VFA, what will happen dun sa, like in the case of yung kay Pemberton, will he be turned over sa US government?
Somebody expressing that idea that the termination will result in the release, I cannot see the logic in that. Why? Because we acquired jurisdiction over him. Even without the BFA, all crimes committed in this country, Philippine courts have jurisdiction. That's only a privilege granted to them. And we assume jurisdiction precisely because that crime was of particular importance to us.
Okay. Thank you, Chona. Pia?
Sir, other topic po. Sir, based on the Corruption Perceptions Index of Transparency National, the Philippines slid down 14 points dun sa ranking from 99 last year, 113th na tayo out of 180 countries. What's the reaction of the palace on this, sir?
It will goad us to sack more corrupt officials. Sack, S-A-C-K. Provided, of course, there is evidence to show that they are. The problem is this. There are many complaints of corruption, but the president as a lawyer needs certain documentary and testimonial evidence to give him the basis. And many Filipinos are still afraid to reveal themselves or to give evidence of this sort.
So sir, based dun sa sinabi ng report, the Philippines continues to struggle to tackle corruption. The palace agrees, sir.
Is what?
The Philippines continues to struggle to tackle corruption.
Yes, we are in fact struggling because the president's hands are tied by the due process clause of the Constitution. It would be different if all of this had been appointed by the president, so you can just dismiss all of them outright. But you have to file charges against them. And you need evidence to back your complaint.
Sir, does the palace admit that it is a failure of the administration?
I don't think so. Because precisely we've been fighting corruption, and as we have seen, the president has been firing top government officials, and complaints against erring government officials have been charged in the ombudsman and in the courts.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, questions? PC Joyce?
Sir, going back lang dun sa VFA. Sir, former Foreign Affairs Secretary, pangalan nito, Albert Del Rosario, is urging President Duterte to accept the invitation of President Trump. And he said it is an excellent opportunity for the President to place on the table his full expectations to our bilateral relations.
I
with the US.
suggest he stays retired. The president knows what he's doing. He doesn't need advice from those who have failed in their term as government officials, especially from the one who lost the West Philippine Sea to the Chinese government.
So the President doesn't see the need to, i-tackle itong issues niya with some bilateral agreements with the US sa ASEAN Leader Summit sa US. He doesn't see that as an opportunity to bring that up.
These issues can always be brought up between countries that are affected by it. You don't need a special summit for that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, questions? No more questions. Thank you, MPC. Thank you, Secretary Panelo.
Thank you.
Okay.
Henry, ba't wala kang tanong?
Oh, magtatanong si Henry. Magtatanong ka, Henry? Sige, Henry. Sorry, magtatanong siya.
Sek, may pag-asa pa ba tayo makapunta ng Las Vegas, Nevada?
Sabi ni Presidente, hindi na siya pupunta eh. Pero
So-
ikaw, makakapunta ka sigurado doon.
Hindi, pero
Hindi ka naman kasama sa ibaban.
couple of days after na sabihin niya na hindi na siya pupunta, walang pagbabago. Ganun pa rin.
Wala.
When was
Sa
the,
tet-a-tet, di tatanungin ko bukas.
pero when was the last time na nagkausap kayo ng Presidente?
Alam mo kami, nung sa Bacolod,
Oo.
yung sinabi niyan, tonight,